Prayer by the Bab. I am aware, O Lord, that my trespasses have covered my face with shame in thy presence, and have burdened my back before thee, have intervened between me and thy beauteous countenance, have compassed me from every direction, and have hindered me on all sides from gaining access unto the revelations of thy celestial power. O Lord, if thou forgivest me not, who is there then to grant pardon? And if thou hast no mercy upon me, who is capable of showing compassion? Glory be unto thee. Thou didst create me when I was non-existent, and thou didst nourish me while I was devoid of any understanding. Praise be unto thee. Every evidence of bounty proceedeth from thee, and every token of grace emanateth from the treasuries of thy decree. A prayer by Bahá'u'lláh. Glorified art thou, Lord my God. Every time I venture to make mention of thee, I am held back by my mighty sins and grievous trespasses against thee, and find myself wholly deprived of thy grace and utterly powerless to celebrate thy praise. My great confidence in thy bounty, however, reviveth my hope in thee, and my certitude that thou wilt bountifully deal with me emboldeneth me to extol thee and to ask of thee the things thou dost possess. I implore thee, O my God, by thy mercy that hath surpassed all created things, and to which all that are immersed beneath the oceans of thy names bear witness, not to abandon me unto myself, for my heart is prone to evil. Guard me then within the stronghold of thy protection and the shelter of thy care. I am he, O my God, whose only wish is what thou hast determined by the power of thy might. All I have chosen for myself is to be assisted by thy gracious appointments and the ruling of thy will, and to be aided with the tokens of thy decree and judgment. I beseech thee, O thou who art the beloved of the hearts which long for thee, by the manifestations of thy cause, and the day springs of thine inspiration, and the exponents of thy majesty, and the treasuries of thy knowledge, not to suffer me to be deprived of thy holy habitation, thy fame, and thy tabernacle. Aid me, O Lord, to attain his hallowed court, and to circle round his person, and to stand humbly at his door. Thou art he whose power is from everlasting to everlasting. Nothing escapeth thy knowledge. Thou art verily the God of power, the God of glory and wisdom. Praise be God, the Lord of the worlds. Suffer me to draw nigh unto thee, O God, my God. Oops. Gotta check it. Suffer me to draw nigh unto thee, O God, my God, and to abide within the precincts of thy court. For remoteness from thee hath well nigh consumed me. Cause me to rest beneath the shadow of the wings of thy grace. For the flame of my separation from thee hath melted my heart within me. Draw me nearer unto the river that is life indeed. For my soul burneth with thirst in its ceaseless search after thee. My sighs, O my God, proclaim the bitterness of mine anguish, and the tears I shed attest my love for thee. I beseech thee, O my Lord, by the praise wherewith thou praisest thyself, and the glory wherewith thou glorifiest thine own essence, to grant that we may be numbered among them that have recognized thee and have acknowledged thy sovereignty in thy days. Help us then to quaff, O my God, from the fingers of mercy the living waters of thy loving kindness, that we may utterly forget aught else except thee, and be occupied only with thyself. Powerful art thou to do what thou willest. Thou art verily the Almighty, the help in peril, the self-subsisting. Glorified be thy name, O thou who art the King of all kings. Create in me a pure heart, O my God. And renew a tranquil conscience within me, O my hope. Through the Spirit of power, confirm thou me in thy cause, O my best beloved. And by the light of thy glory, reveal unto me thy path, O thou the goal of my desire. Through the power of thy transcendent might, lift me up to the heaven of thy holiness, O source of my being. And by the breezes of thine eternity, gladden me, O thou who art my God. Let thine everlasting melodies breathe tranquility on me, O my companion. And let the riches of thine ancient countenance deliver me from all except thee, O my Master. And let the tidings of the revelation of thine incorruptible essence bring me joy, O thou who art the most manifest of the manifest, and the most hidden of the hidden. Thou seest me, O my Lord, with my face turned towards the heaven of thy bounty and the ocean of thy favor, withdrawn from all else beside thee. I ask of thee, by the splendors of the sun of thy revelation on Sinai, and the effulgences of the orb of thy grace, which shineth from the horizon of thy name, the ever-forgiving, to grant me thy pardon, and to have mercy upon me. Write down then for me with thy pen of glory that which will exalt me through thy name in the world of creation. Aid me, O my Lord, to set myself towards thee, and to hearken unto the voice of thy loved ones, whom the powers of the earth have failed to weaken, and the dominion of the nations has been powerless to withhold from thee, and who, advancing towards thee, have said, God is our Lord, the Lord of all who are in heaven and all who are on earth. That's Bahá'u'lláh. Here's a prayer by Abdu'l-Bahá. And I'm saying it for the I'm going to recite it for the believers who are being persecuted, imprisoned, and in many other ways beleaguered in the East. He is God. O Lord my God, O thou helper of the feeble, succorer of the poor, and deliverer of the helpless who turn unto thee. With utmost lowliness I raise my suppliant hands to thy kingdom of beauty, and fervently call upon thee with my inner tongue, saying, O God, my God, aid me to adore thee, strengthen my loins to serve thee, assist me by thy grace in my servitude to thee, suffer me to remain steadfast in my obedience to thee. Pour forth upon me the liberal effusions of thy bounty. Let the glances of the eye of thy loving kindness be directed towards me, and immerse me in the ocean of thy forgiveness. Grant that I may be confirmed in my allegiance to thy faith, and bestow upon me a fuller measure of certitude and assurance, that I may wholly dispense with the world, may turn my face with entire devotion towards thy face, be reinforced by the compelling power of proofs and testimonies, and invested with majesty and power, may pass beyond every region of heaven and earth. Verily thou art the merciful, the all-glorious, the kind, the compassionate. O Lord, these are the survivors of the martyrs, that company of blessed souls. They have sustained every tribulation and displayed patience in the face of grievous injustice. They have forsaken all comfort and prosperity, have willingly submitted to dire suffering and adversity in the path of thy love, and are still held captive in the clutches of their enemies, who continually torment them with sore torment and oppress them because they walk steadfastly in thy straight path. There is no one to help them, no one to befriend them. Apart from the ignoble and the wicked, there is no one to associate and consort with them. O Lord, these souls have tasted bitter agony in this earthly life, and have as a sign of their love for the shining beauty of thy countenance, and in their eagerness to attain thy celestial kingdom, tolerated every gross indignity that the people of tyranny have inflicted upon them. O Lord, fill their ears with the verses of divine assistance and of a speedy victory, and deliver them from the oppression of such as wield terrible might. Withhold the hands of the wicked, and leave not these souls to be torn by the claws and teeth of fierce beasts. For they are captivated by their love for thee, entrusted with the mysteries of thy holiness, stand humbly at thy door, and have attained to thine exalted precinct. O Lord, graciously reinforce them with a new spirit. Illumine their eyes by enabling them to behold thy wondrous evidences in the gloom of night. Destine for them all good that aboundeth in thy kingdom of eternal mysteries. Make them as brilliant stars, shining over all regions, luxuriant trees, laden with fruit, and branches moving in the breezes of dawn. Verily thou art the bountiful, the mighty, the omnipotent, the unconstrained. There is none other God but thee, the God of love and tender mercy, the all-glorious, the ever-forgiving. That's Abdu'l-Baha. Here's another one by Abdu'l-Baha that I love a lot. He is the compassionate, the all-bountiful. O God, my God, thou seest me, thou knowest me. Thou art my haven and my refuge. None have I sought, nor any will I seek save thee. No path have I trodden, nor any will I tread, but the path of thy love. In the darksome night of despair, my eye turneth expectant and full of hope to the morn of thy boundless favor. And at the hour of dawn my drooping soul is refreshed and strengthened in remembrance of thy beauty and thy perfection. He whom the grace of thy mercy aideth, though he be but a drop, shall become the boundless ocean. And the merest atom, which the outpourings of thy loving kindness assisteth, shall shine, even as the radiant star. Shelter under thy protection, O thou Spirit of purity, thou the all-bountiful provider. This enthralled, enkindled servant of thine Aid him in this world of being to remain steadfast and firm in thy love. And grant that this broken-winged bird attain a refuge and shelter in thy divine nest that abideth upon the celestial tree. Good morning. If you're watching, say hi. If you have any questions or comments, post them if you want to. A prayer by the Bab. In the name of thy Lord, the Creator, the Sovereign, the All-Sufficing, the Most Exalted, he whose help is implored by all men. Say, O my God, O thou who art the maker of the heavens and of the earth, O Lord of the kingdom, thou well knowest the secrets of my heart, while thy being is inscrutable to all save thyself. Thou seest whatsoever is of me, while no one else can do this save thee. Vouchsafe unto me through thy grace what will enable me to dispense with all except thee, and will destine for me that which will make me independent of everyone else besides thee. Grant that I may reap the benefit of my life in this world and in the next. Open to my face the portals of thy grace, and graciously confer upon me thy tender mercy and bestowals. O thou who art the Lord of grace abounding, let thy celestial aid surround those who love thee, and bestow upon us the gifts and the bounties thou dost possess. Be thou sufficient unto us of all things. Forgive our sins and have mercy upon us. Thou art our Lord and the Lord of all created things. No one else do we invoke but thee, and naught do we beseech but thy favors. Thou art the Lord of bounty and grace, invincible in thy power, and the most skillful in thy designs. No God is there but thee, the all-possessing, the most exalted. Confer thy blessings, O my Lord, upon the messengers, the holy ones, and the righteous. Verily thou art God, the peerless, the all-compelling. Here's a prayer by Bahá'u'lláh. Many a chilled heart, O my God, hath been set ablaze by the fire of thy cause. And many a slumberer hath been wakened by the sweetness of thy voice. How many the strangers who have sought shelter beneath the shadow of the tree of thy oneness. And how numerous the thirsty ones who have panted after the fountain of thy living waters in thy days. Blessed is he that hath set himself towards thee and hasted to attain the dayspring of the lights of thy face. Blessed is he who with all his affections hath turned toward the dawning place of thy revelation and the fountainhead of thine inspiration. Blessed is he who hath expended in thy path what thou didst bestow upon him through thy bounty and favor. Blessed is he who in his sore longing after thee hath cast away aught else except thee. Blessed is he who hath enjoyed intimate communion with thee and rid himself of all attachment to anyone save thee. I beseech thee, O my Lord, by him who is thy name, who through the power of thy sovereignty and might hath risen above the horizon of his prison, to ordain for everyone what becometh thee and beseemeth thine exaltation. Thy might in truth is equal to all things. Another prayer by Baha'u'lláh. Glorified art thou, O my God. I yield thee thanks that thou hast made known unto me him who is the dayspring of thy mercy and the dawning place of thy grace and the repository of thy cause. I beseech thee by thy name, through which the faces of them that are nigh unto thee have turned white, and the hearts of such as are devoted to thee have winged their flight towards thee, to grant that I may at all times and under all conditions lay hold on thy cord, and be rid of all attachment to anyone except thee, and may keep mine eyes directed towards the horizon of thy revelation, and may carry out what thou hast prescribed unto me in thy tablets. Attire, O my Lord, both my inner and outer being with the raiment of thy favors and thy loving kindness. Keep me safe then from whatsoever may be abhorrent unto thee, and graciously assist me and my kindred to obey thee, and to shun whatsoever may stir up any evil or corrupt desire within me. Thou truly art the Lord of all mankind and the possessor of this world and of the next. No God is there save thee, the all-knowing, the all-wise. Abdu'l-Baha was a prisoner with his father for 40 years, and he was the subject of 4 banishments. He was 68 years old when he was, maybe it was a little before that, when the Young Turks Rebellion freed all the political and religious prisoners. One of the first acts that that Abdu'l-Baha did upon being released from prison was he made a journey to the West. He came to the United States and Canada, and he was here for, I think, 268 days. And he traveled all over the country and gave talks, many, many talks. He went to the Bahá'í, he met with the poor, he went to the churches, the synagogues, the different groups. He went to the women's suffrage movement. He was old, he was tired, he was broken in health, but he went and he gave sometimes 3 talks a day. And after he returned to Haifa, he revealed a prayer. He revealed prayers for the different sections of North America, and specifically the United States. And he revealed a prayer for the northeastern states, which he asked the believers to recite every day, so I'm going to recite it. Here's the prayer for the northeastern states by Abdu'l-Baha. O thou kind Lord, praise be unto thee that thou hast shown us the highway of guidance. Open the doors of the kingdom and manifested thyself through the Sun of Reality. To the blind thou hast given sight, to the deaf thou hast granted hearing. Thou hast resuscitated the dead. Thou hast enriched the poor. Thou hast shown the way to those who have gone astray. Thou hast led those with parched lips to the fountain of guidance. Thou hast suffered the thirsty fish to reach the ocean of reality. And thou hast invited the wandering birds to the rose garden of grace. O thou Almighty, we are thy servants and thy poor ones. We are remote and yearn for thy presence. Our thirst for the water of thy fountain. Are ill, longing for thy healing. We are walking in thy path and have no aim or hope save the diffusion of thy fragrance, so that all souls may raise the cry of, O God, guide us to the straight path. May their eyes be open to behold the light. May they be freed from the darkness of ignorance. May they gather around the lamp of thy guidance. May every portionless one receive a share. May the deprived become the confidants of thy mysteries. O Almighty, look upon us with the glance of mercifulness. Grant us heavenly confirmation. Bestow upon us the breath of the Holy Spirit, so that we may be assisted in thy service, and like unto brilliant stars, shine in these regions with the light of thy guidance. Verily thou art the powerful, the mighty, the wise, and the seeing. Abdu'l-Baha also revealed a prayer for America while he was here. And in this prayer, he refers to our just government. And he says that we're worthy of God's favors and deserving of his mercy. So, not sure exactly why he said that. But I think that when he said the just government, he was probably referring to the fact that we have a government that gives the people a voice. O thou kind Lord, this gathering is turning to thee. These hearts are radiant with thy love. These minds and spirits are exhilarated by the message of thy glad tidings. O God, let this American democracy become glorious in spiritual degrees, even as it has aspired to material degrees, and render this just government victorious. Confirm this revered nation to upraise the standard of the oneness of humanity, to promulgate the most great peace, to become thereby most glorious and praiseworthy among all the nations of the world. O God, this American nation is worthy of thy favors and is deserving of thy mercy. Make it precious and near to thee through thy bounty and bestowal. And I'm going to also read Abdu'l-Baha's Tablet of Visitation. This is read in his shrine. It's a tablet that he wrote himself. It's also used in private prayer. And Abdu'l-Baha writes, "Whoso reciteth this prayer with loneliness and fervor will bring gladness and joy to the heart of this servant. It will be even as meeting him face to face." Tea break. He is the All-Glorious. O God, my God, lowly and tearful, I raise my suppliant hands to thee and cover my face in the dust of that threshold of thine. Exalted above the knowledge of the learned, and the praise of all that glorify thee. Graciously look upon thy servant, humble and lowly at thy door, with the glances of the eye of thy mercy. And immerse him in the ocean of thine eternal grace. Lord, he is a poor and lowly servant of thine. enthralled and imploring thee, captive in thy hand, praying fervently to thee, trusting in thee, in tears before thy face, calling to thee and beseeching thee, saying, O Lord my God, give me thy grace to serve thy loved ones. Strengthen me in my servitude to thee. Illumine my brow with the light of adoration in thy court of holiness and of prayer to thy kingdom of grandeur. Lord, help me to be selfless at the heavenly entrance of thy gate, and aid me to be detached from all things within thy holy precincts. Lord, give me to drink from the chalice of selflessness. With its robe clothe me. And in its ocean immerse me. Make me as dust in the pathway of thy loved ones. And grant that I may offer up my soul for the earth, ennobled by the footsteps of thy chosen ones in thy path. O Lord of glory in the highest, with this prayer doth thy servant call thee at dawntide and in the night season. Fulfill his heart's desire, O Lord. Illumine his heart. Gladden his bosom. Kindle his light, that he may serve thy cause and thy servants. Thou art the bestower, the pitiful, the all-bountiful, the gracious, the merciful, the compassionate. This is one of the things that makes it really hard to do this, because I can't really cry as much as I would if I were alone. We were reading from Baha'u'llah's tablet to the true seeker. So we can continue that. He says, at the dawn of every day he should commune with God, and with all his soul persevere in the quest of his beloved. He should consume every wayward thought with the flame of his loving mention, and with the swiftness of lightning pass by all else save him. He should succor the dispossessed and never withhold his favor from the destitute. He should show kindness to animals. How much more unto his fellow man, to him who is endowed with the power of utterance. He should not hesitate to offer up his life for his beloved, nor allow the censure of the people to turn him away from the truth. He should not wish for others that which he doth not wish for himself, nor promise that which he doth not fulfill. With all his heart, he should avoid fellowship with evildoers and pray for the remission of their sins. I feel like I should explain, we're not supposed to judge each other, so how do we know who's an evildoer? Well, for me, it's anybody who, for whatever reason, causes me to stray from the path of God, whether it be because I can't keep my temper or because I do things that are forbidden, that I need to avoid those people. He should forgive the sinful and never despise his low estate, for none knoweth what his own end shall be. How often hath a sinner attained at the hour of death to the essence of faith, and quaffing the immortal draught, hath taken his flight unto the concourse on high. And how often hath a devout believer, at the hour of his soul's ascension, been so changed as to fall into the nethermost fire. Our purpose in revealing these convincing and weighty utterances is to impress upon the seeker that he should regard all else beside God as transient, and count all things save him who is the object of all adoration as utter nothingness. These are among the attributes of the exalted, and constitute the hallmark of the spiritually minded. They have already been mentioned in connection with the requirements of the wayfarers that tread the path of positive knowledge. When the detached wayfarer and sincere seeker hath fulfilled these essential conditions, then and only then can he be called a true seeker. Whensoever he hath fulfilled the conditions implied in the verse, "Whoso maketh efforts for us," he shall enjoy the blessings conferred by the words, "In our ways shall we assuredly guide him." Only when the lamp of search, of earnest striving, of longing desire, of passionate devotion, of fervid love, of rapture and ecstasy is kindled within the seeker's heart, and the breeze of his loving kindness is wafted upon his soul, will the darkness of error be dispelled, the mists of doubts and misgivings be dissipated, and the lights of knowledge and certitude envelop his being. At that hour will the mystic herald, bearing the joyful tidings of the Spirit, shine forth from the city of God, resplendent as the morn, and through the trumpet blast of knowledge will awaken the heart, the soul, and the spirit from the slumber of heedlessness. Then will the manifold favors and outpouring grace of the Holy and everlasting Spirit confer such new life upon the seeker that he will find himself endowed with a new eye, a new ear, a new heart, and a new mind. He will contemplate the manifest signs of the universe and will penetrate the hidden mysteries of the soul. Gazing with the eye of God, he will perceive within every atom a door that leadeth him to the stations of absolute certitude. He will discover in all things the mysteries of divine revelation and the evidences of an everlasting manifestation. Tomorrow we will look at the Tablet of Wisdom, the Law-i-Hikmat by Baha'u'lláh. And now, looking for my bookmark. Oops. A little more tea here. Okay, we're reading from the Suriy-i-Ra'ís, and it looks as though this entire tablet was written to the Sultan of Turkey. Is that right? No, wrong. This was written to the Prime Minister of the Ottoman Empire, Ali Pasha. We looked this up yesterday. It was revealed in Arabic in honor of Haji Muhammad Ismail-i-Kashani, entitled Dabi, which means sacrifice, and Anis, companion, which means companion. It was revealed by Baha'u'lláh and addresses Ali Pasha, the Ottoman Prime Minister, referred to here as Reis or Ra'ís. I don't know how to pronounce this. Chief or ruler. So this man was a very evil man who was responsible for the torture and martyrdom of some very prominent believers, very courageous believers, and who was bent on extinguishing the Baha'i faith. And Baha'u'lláh wrote this tablet to him. He says, O chief, we revealed ourselves unto thee at one time upon Mount Tina, and at another time upon Mount Zeta, and yet again in this hallowed spot. So let's see, there's a footnote there. Let's see what that refers to. Mount Tina and Mount Zeta. Oh, literally the Mount of Figs and the Mount of Olives. It's a reference to something in the Quran. It sounds like what Baha'u'llah's, I'm going to guess here. I'm going to guess that the Mount of Figs was Mount Sinai. And the Mount of Olives was, of course, where Jesus revealed himself. Gave a talk. So I'm thinking that what Baha'u'lláh is saying is that Moses and Jesus and now Baha'u'lláh are all manifestations of God that called upon this prime minister. Oh, and there's something else too. Okay, yes, this is actually, I'm going to go back because there's a paragraph here that I read yesterday where Baha'u'lláh makes a prophecy. He talks about what's going to happen in the Ottoman Empire and the surrounding lands such as Iran. And he very clearly states that these things that are going to happen because of how the believers were persecuted. This is what he says. The day is approaching when the land of mystery, that's Adrianople, which was Baha'u'llah's third banishment and where he was when he wrote this letter. And what is beside it, such as Iran and other places, shall be changed, and shall pass out of the hands of the king, and commotion shall appear, and the voice of lamentation shall be raised, and the evidences of mischief shall be revealed on all sides. And confusion shall spread by reason of that which hath befallen these captives at the hands of the hosts of oppression. So, what this prime minister did in his murder of these particular two believers that Baha'u'lláh dedicated this tablet to, and what he did for the persecution of the Baha'is was particularly evil. He's saying that because of what has been done by him and by others, these lands are going to be punished by God. The course of things shall be altered, and conditions shall wax so grievous that the very sands on the desolate hills will moan, and the trees on the mountain will weep, and blood will flow out of all things. Then wilt thou behold the people in sore distress. So it sounds to me like it has already come to pass and is continuing. And there's another footnote here. It tells about what happened to the Sultan. It says Sultan Abdul Aziz, remember Baha'u'lláh just said that the government was going to pass out of the hands of the king. So that would be Sultan Abdul Aziz. Lost both his throne and his life in 1876. So this tablet was revealed in the 1860s. During the subsequent war with Russia, 1877 to 1878, Adrianople was occupied by the enemy, and the Turks experienced a violent bloodbath. And so now, this is where we started today. He says, O chief, we revealed ourselves unto thee at one time upon Mount Tina, and another time upon Mount Zeta, and yet again in this hallowed spot. Following, however, thy corrupt inclinations, thou didst fail to respond, and wert accounted with the heedless. Consider then, and call to mind the time when Mohammed came, with clear tokens from him who is the Almighty, the All-Knowing. So he's referring, I think, to Moses, to Jesus, to himself, and now to Muhammad. All of these messengers of God who came to bring guidance to humanity, that this person completely has ignored everything that they tried to bring. So he's saying, think about Muhammad. The people were wont to pelt him with stones from hidden places and in the markets. And they rejected the signs of God, thy Lord, and the Lord of thy forefathers. The learned also denied him, as did their followers, and likewise the kings of the earth, as thou hast heard from the tales of old. Among those kings was Chosroes. I don't know how you pronounce this. Chosroes, maybe. And there's a footnote. So let's look at that footnote and see who Chosroes was. Chosroes II, the Sasanian monarch who reigned in Persia during the lifetime of Muhammad. Okay. So among the kings who persecuted Muhammad was Chosroes, to whom Muhammad sent a blessed epistle, summoning him unto God and forbidding him from misbelief. Verily, thy Lord knoweth all things. Following the promptings of his evil and corrupt desires, however, Chosroes waxed arrogant before God and tore up the tablet. He verily is accounted among the inmates of the nethermost fire. So we have to understand that there's justice in the world and in the hereafter. God is the God of love and mercy, but he's also the God of justice. If justice doesn't come to pass, then what of all the sufferings of the innocent? There has to be justice. It doesn't mean that God doesn't love everyone, but there has to be justice. So it's a mixed bag. It's not all peaches and roses, you know? Yes, there's peaches and roses, and it comes from the love that we give. But that's not all there is. There's also judgment. And who judges? We judge. We judge ourselves. I firmly believe that when we leave our bodies and ascend to the spiritual reality and see all of our choices and actions in this world and thoughts and deeds, we're going to judge ourselves because we're going to see with the light of truth. The veils that are covering our eyes now here in this earth life are going to be removed. And we're going to see where we could have helped that we didn't. And where we harmed that we did. There's going to be justice. But the good news is there's also going to be glory. And there's also going to be mercy. And there's also going to be forgiveness. But that doesn't mean that we're not going to have to go through something as well. You know? And who can say how long it will take or how intense it will be? That's justice. Was it in Pharaoh's power to stay the hand of God from exercising his sovereignty when he acted wantonly in the land and was of the transgressors? So now he's referring to Moses. And he's saying to him, look, Pharaoh tried to stamp out Moses and his followers, and he wasn't able to do it. What makes you think you're going to be able to do this? You can kill all the followers you want. You're not going to be able to stamp out this message. Because when the manifestation of God comes to the world, he comes with with a mission, and that mission has to be fulfilled, no matter what people do. From within his own house, and in spite of his will, we brought forth him who conversed with God. That was Moses. Moses came from the house of Pharaoh. Well able are we to achieve our purpose. Recall, moreover, how Nimrod kindled the fire of impiety that its flames might consume Abraham, the friend of God. We delivered him, however, through the power of our truth, and seized Nimrod with the fury of our wrath, say, the oppressor, Muhammad Shah, put to death the beloved of the worlds, the Bab, to quench the light of God amongst the people, and to debar them from the wellspring of life eternal in the days of thy Lord, the gracious, the most bountiful. We too have revealed the cause of God in his cities, and raised aloft his remembrance amidst them that truly believe in him. So the believers, or those who were pure in heart, were able to see through the persecution and respond to the divine message, whether it came from Abraham, Moses, Christ, Muhammad, the Bab, or now Bahá'u'lláh. The enemies cannot stamp it out. Say, this youth hath come to quicken the world and unite all its peoples. The day is approaching when that which God hath purposed will have prevailed. And thou shalt behold the earth transformed into the all-glorious paradise. That's what Baha'u'lláh came for. This is that time that all the religions have been waiting for. The time of peace on earth. And Baha'u'lláh has brought the teachings to enable that to happen. And we're the ones that have to put these teachings into practice and manifest this all-glorious paradise. And Baha'u'lláh is saying, it is destined, it is happening in this time, this revelation, this 1,000-year period. Thus hath it been inscribed by the pen of revelation upon this weighty tablet. Okay, that's where I'm going to end today. Tomorrow we'll continue with this tablet. The second tablet in the Summons of the Lord of Hosts, a selection of tablets by Baha'u'lláh in which he addresses from his prison in Adrianople and in Haifa, Akka, in Palestine, the kings and rulers of the world. So we'll go on with that tomorrow. And if there are no comments or questions, I will say my prayer for us. Oh, my prayer for us. My prayer is that our hearts be soothed and comforted from our losses and from our regrets, that we can find hope and joy. Our prayer is that God enables us to look at ourselves with the eye of truth and honesty, to face unafraid our own sins and our own trespasses, and to give us the courage and the determination to uproot our faults with the help of God, and the faith that if God is allowing us to see our faults, then he has the power to help us overcome them. And also that we rise above our judgments and our reactivity to other people and show them love and kindness. I wish you a blessed day. And I'll close with the Baha'i invocation. Ya Bahá'u'lláh, O thou glory of the most glorious.